Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. Night one of the Superstar Shakeup has just concluded, and this was a really good episode of Raw. It was fun to watch. We had a few surprises on this show. Now we just have to wait and see what happens tomorrow night on SmackDown Live. Thank you to everyone for watching live or on demand. Either way, it is much appreciated. If you are watching live, please spread the word, share a link to this video on social media. Let's talk about the Superstar Shakeup. Let's jump right into it. But first, a super chat donation I think just came in, but it's not popping up on the screen. There it is. Tom McCarthy. $2 super chat donation. Who's going to SmackDown, Jeff Hardy or Seth Rollins? You're going to have to wait. Later in the video, I will give my predictions for tomorrow night. Let's start off with Kurt Angle coming out at the start of Raw. He introduced Jinder Mahal as the first person to join Monday Night Raw. So already, SmackDown is a better show. No Jinder Mahal. And I know some of you out there are going to say, oh, you hate Jinder Mahal. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's the character I don't like. The way the character has been booked, I don't like. I have nothing against Jinder Mahal and the work he's put into WWE. I feel a lot of guys work hard, but you have to have a compelling character. You have to have a compelling storyline. And I've ranted about this before. We'll see what happens. Maybe Jinder Mahal will be reinvented on Monday Night Raw. Maybe we'll see a new era for the Maharaja on Raw. Time will tell, but it did not start off very strongly for him. He came into this show as the United States champion, and Kurt Angle put him immediately in a match with Jeff Hardy. Chris Mace just left a $100 super chat donation. Holy crap. Thank you for 20 years of doing NoDQ Live. I haven't been doing NoDQ Live for 20 years, but if I keep getting super chat donations like that, I certainly will be. Thank you so much, Chris Mace. It is much appreciated, my friend. That is awesome. You are the man, Chris Mace. Caleb Jacobs just sent in a $2.12 super chat donation. Monday Night Raw has just become glorious. And just like that, Virtue is reinstated to NoDQ.com. Virtue is in the chat room, by the way. Again, thank you, Chris Mace, and to everybody for leaving super chat donations. It's very much appreciated. It even had the red background color. I mean, that is unbelievable. But anyways, let me get back to Monday Night Raw before I start getting people upset with me shilling the super chats all night long. Gotta stick to the review here. Wait a minute, I think I got another super chat donation coming in. People are just mad at me. People get so mad when I keep acknowledging the super chat donations. Snipes 123123. 3MB is back, baby. So yes, if all else fails with Jinder Mahal, we could have a 3MB reunion. All three guys are now on Monday Night Raw, unless we have Heath Slater go back to SmackDown Live. That would suck, because we always have the possibility now. 3MB all on the same show once again. Your Eternal Destiny 1, and this is going ahead just a little bit here. What's up with Lashley's stupid headband? So clearly he hasn't been watching Impact Wrestling, because Lashley has had the headband for a while. It's to keep sweat from dripping into his eyes. That's why he has it. No TGS, I do not have buffering issues with Sling. Sling's actually been great. The only issues I have with any kind of buffering is with YouTube when I'm doing these damn videos. But yeah, other than that, I have no problems with my internet. So let's move on here. I agree, Kurapika 07, Lashley was great tonight, but his theme still sucks. back to the Jinder Mahal move to Raw. Jinder Mahal faced Jeff Hardy, who apparently is no longer Brother Nero. He's just classic Jeff Hardy again. Jeff Hardy defeated Jinder Mahal. By the way, really good match. These guys had a very good match against each other, so I give Jinder Mahal credit where credit is due. It does take two to tango, and it was a very good match. Crowd was hot. Crowd was actually really good tonight. You would figure after WrestleMania it would die down a lot, but overall this was a very good crowd. The match was entertaining, and we have a new champion. Jeff Hardy is a Grand Slam champion, his first United States championship reign in WWE. So congrats to Jeff Hardy. Maybe the WWE should rename the U.S. title the Grand Slam Championship now, because Randy Orton won it and became a Grand Slam champion, and now the same thing is happening with Jeff Hardy. Time will tell, though. Will Jeff Hardy go to SmackDown, because the U.S. title is on Raw, the Intercontinental title is on Raw? Does that mean we're going to see a champion go over to SmackDown tomorrow night? I will talk more about that in a few minutes here. German Rules with a $5 Super Chat donation. Aaron is greater than Don Tony. Well, I appreciate that. I'm not going to say I'm better than anybody, but thank you for that comment. I appreciate your enthusiasm for me and NoDQ Live. That is awesome. Let's move on here. So we had Bayley versus Sasha Banks in a one-on-one match, which had a good amount of heat, and I liked the part where they started slapping each other and it got intense. But just as it was getting intense, that's when we had the Riot Squad from SmackDown debut on Raw and sabotage the match. What's going to happen now with potential Raw female superstars going over to SmackDown? Will Sasha or Bayley go over? That would be disappointing, because it feels like the feud is finally getting heated between these two, and if that's the end of the feud, that's going to be a big letdown. After all this hype and all this build, for it to be over already, I think would be very disappointing. Kayfabe Candy Ass, my good buddy, says Bayley came out in a bib, and TJS said, I wish Bayley was my baby. Spartacus says, what the hell was Bayley wearing? It was a bib. I don't know. I really don't know. Cindy, who just showed off her brand new NoDQ beach ball, thank you, Cindy, says Riot Squad to Raw is a big mistake. Well, how about if the Riot Squad merges with Absolution, which is something I suggested, maybe form a super female group like a female NWO or something. You could do that. But of course, Absolution came out later on the show, and they still have Paige's music. Huh? Why do they have Paige's music still? So maybe they will reunite. Okay, how about this? How about Absolution and Riot Squad form a super group and they have new music? No more Ruby Riot music, which is like the worst theme song for a heel ever. I hate it. As far as Ruby Riot being a heel goes, the theme song doesn't work for a heel character, period. Cindy thinks Absolution will go to SmackDown Live. And TJS, by the way, check out TJS's video with Stephen Osborne on the NoDQ.com channel. It's also up on NoDQ.com. They did like a 2.5 video a week late, but they did cover WrestleMania, NXT, and all that other good stuff from WrestleMania week. And yes, go over to Twitter. You can see Cindy. She posted a picture with the NoDQ beach ball. So yay, Cindy. Thank you for that. And yes, we had the graphics from SmackDown Live appear on Raw. So they also made the jump apparently to Monday Night Raw. I hope not. I hope that was just a one-off thing. But yeah, I'm not going to be a big fan if those graphics are being used on Raw. They shouldn't be used, period, on either show as far as I'm concerned. And I think a lot of you would agree with me on that. All right, let's move on here. So we had Miz TV, and I think some people were thinking maybe Daniel Bryan would show up, but I actually like this segment better, the fact that Bryan did not show up, the way it was done. We had Miz TV, Miz introduced Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as the newest Raw members, and this was an order by Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon overruled Kurt Angle and brought in Owens and Zayn. How about that? Something actually makes sense in the storyline. I like it. And I loved the interaction between Miz, Owens, and Zayn. They worked so well together in this segment. And then Miz was announced that he's moving to SmackDown by Daniel Bryan, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle came out and said, as a request by Shane McMahon, The Miz is going over to SmackDown Live. And of course, this is what I predicted. The Miz and Daniel Bryan on the same brand to finally settle their issues. But prior to that, when Miz, Owens, and Zayn were hugging and they were gloating, that was so awesome. I'm so sad because this would have been a great super heel group with The Miz, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. I'm so bummed that they're already being separated, and that's that. It was just a really fun moment with them and a really fun segment. I love that segment. I thought it was great. I love Kurt Angle announcing that Miz is going to SmackDown. Great stuff here. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. And then we had some not so great moments. So Breeze Zongo is on, or they are on Monday Night Raw now. The Fashion Police. Yippee. And not only that, they beat the Bar. So the Bar, let's recap for those of you keeping score at home. In the span of a couple of months, we've had the Bar losing to Titus Worldwide, and then Braun Strowman and Nicholas, a 10-year-old kid, at WrestleMania, and now they lost to Breezango. What is going on with the Bar? You know what? At this point, I hope the Bar is going to SmackDown Live. I mean, shoot. Poor guys, can't catch a break here. I almost feel like Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy should get the tag team titles in Saudi Arabia. By the way, those guys, I'm loving this gimmick. I think it's working. I think the two of them have chemistry together. Bray Wyatt is finally a babyface character, which is very long overdue. I enjoy it, and I love their double team work. I think WWE has something with these guys, and maybe that's why Jeff's going off on his own for now, because Matt Hardy and Bray, there's something here with these guys, and WWE just wants to focus on that and focus on Jeff Hardy as a single star. And you know what? When it comes down to it, WWE has always considered Jeff to be the bigger star, and I think that there was always this idea of pushing Jeff as a single star. So it is what it is. Maybe one day we'll see Brother Nero reunite. But yeah, I love it, and I love the entrance. It starts off with Matt's music, and then Bray's music, and then back to Matt's music. Good stuff. I thought that this was a really good Raw, like I said. I mean, you're not going to get too much complaining from me on this show other than the Bar losing. Maybe they are going to SmackDown, though, and that's how it'll be redeemed. JJ Kazi with a $4 Canadian Super Chat donation. Elias calls Renee Rachel and the Bullet Club by Corey. Yes, that is true. I didn't catch the Rachel part, but I did catch Corey Graves referring to the Balor Club as the Bullet Club. And I believe this happened several months ago, too. Naughty Corey Graves. Naughty boy. So we had several people jump to Raw from SmackDown, and several people were not announced on television. Rather, WWE made several announcements on social media. Basically, the guys that are not big enough stars to acknowledge on television. Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley, Mike Kanellis, and The Ascension. All of them have gone from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw, and nobody cares. I mean, it is what it is. You got to have some lower card guys. Makes me wonder if Titus Worldwide is going to SmackDown Live, because so many of these lower card talents like Breezango and the Ascension are on Raw now. SmackDown Live has to have a preliminary tag team, right? So maybe that means Titus Worldwide is going to SmackDown along with Dana Brooke as well. Yes, Fire Disco Panda, Mike Kanellis still, in fact, has a job with WWE. A bunch of people in here saying Chad Gable is probably going to 205 Live. So let's move on here. Natalya is officially on Monday Night Raw, and I guess she's a babyface now. Natalya picked up a win over Mandy Rose, and like I said earlier, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville still have Paige's music, which makes no sense. I say just form them, put them in a group and form a new group with the Riot Squad. Give them a new theme song that's heelish and vicious and a little bit savage too, like the Macho Man. Something cool, something bad. Cool, cocky, and bad, like Honky Tonk Man. I'd like to see that. And also give some... Okay, here's another reason why. Ronda Rousey needs some opposition. Ronda Rousey came out. She helped make the save. Natalya was getting beat down by Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And Ronda beat up Sonya. And that was the segment. So Ronda needs some serious heel opposition. That's why I say, this is my opinion here, take the women, Absolution, I've made that mistake before, Absolution and Riot Squad, give them a new name, new theme song, new attitude, super female heel group to feud with Ronda Rousey, and then Ronda has to go through all of them. That's something I think that they should do. Like I said, Ronda needs some serious competition. So why not put all the women together, form a super group to try to run Ronda out of the WWE? How about that as a storyline? There, I'm doing WWE's job for them here. My guess is they'll just do a bunch of 6-woman tag team matches with no real storyline, if I had to make a crazy prediction. Let's see, we had Dolph Ziggler complete with his record scratch, which I hope is the last night he has the record scratch. He came out, he was interrupted by Titus Worldwide, and then we had the surprise appearance of Drew McIntyre. Actually, wasn't a big surprise if you were on NoDQ.com earlier today. It was, in fact, it was posted earlier. Actually, it was WrestleVotes that broke the news. Drew McIntyre was in Hartford, seen in Hartford earlier today. So there was a decent chance he was going to be on the show. Big Cass was too, but Big Cass did not appear on the show. Could end up on SmackDown Live. I will talk about that here in a few minutes. By the way, we just broke 400 live viewers, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please spread the word and please subscribe if you're watching for the first time. Garrett Mills with a $2 Super Chat donation. Rollins to SmackDown? I'll get to that here in a few minutes with my predictions. Stay tuned. I got to have a hook for later so people stay tuned in. Cindy, who just got a NoDQ beach ball, is sending in a $5 Super Chat donation. Thank you, Cindy. Is Drew McIntyre back to being a jobber since he's with Ziggler? He should be back to NXT in my opinion. Actually, if anything, I think it's an elevation for Ziggler. I think this gives something new for Ziggler to do and gives him a new sense of purpose. I mean, I did get a Shawn Michaels Diesel vibe from these two, and maybe Ziggler can run his mouth and be the trash talker, and you know, Drew McIntyre can be like his bodyguard and the tough guy who is standing behind him. I'm curious to see where this goes. I think there's some potential with this this team, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. I like the potential. I do like the potential. Although some of you guys are already making fun of them. Ziggler and Drew, new tag team jobbers are us, says Tori W. So not everybody seems to be a fan of it right now. And the people were really into McIntyre, by the way. They were chanting holy crap, but they were saying the other word. And they did pop pretty big for Drew McIntyre. And again, if all else fails, you can always reunite 3MB, right? Maybe make them a serious heel faction. Maybe you could take. You're gonna end up with too many factions if I keep suggesting these ideas, but you could take Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Now that they're without the Miz, they're staying on Raw. Miz is going to SmackDown. You could have them form a unit with Drew McIntyre and Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal. You could always do that. You could make the New Job Squad. That's always a possibility. There's a bunch of argument going on in the chat room. I guess Virtue is using profanity and somebody is taking exception to that. That's the chat room for you, for those of you watching live. Of course, most of you watching on demand, but either way, again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. All right, so Drew McIntyre, let's move on here. Baron Corbin is on Monday Night Raw now. What do you guys think about that? Baron Corbin on Raw? I mean, again, I think that this is a benefit for SmackDown to lose Corbin. Corbin, I guess this is good for Corbin. It gives him a little bit of a fresh start. Corbin was just really going nowhere on SmackDown. So, yeah, I guess this makes sense. But, I'm just so over Corbin at this point. And I guess that throws a monkey wrench in the whole advertisement for Extreme Rules. There was a something online about the Extreme Rules main event being AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin in a three-way match. So it looks like that's not happening unless there's some sort of swerve, which I don't think so. It was just weird. Baron Corbin just being added to that in a three-way. Yeah, Baron Corbin on Raw. Vince likes tall guys, so maybe this will be a good thing for Corbin. I don't know. I think he needs to shave his head and change his look. That's just my own personal opinion on him. Raw is the land of giants. Corbin, Joe, Strowman, Lesnar, Reigns, Lashley. Yes, but one or more of those giants could end up on SmackDown Live in the near future. Braden says, nice job on the review last week, TJS, by the way. So TJS and Stephen Osborne getting some props. If you guys have missed it, go ahead and check out their video. Both of them have great minds for wrestling, and it's a privilege to have them on the NoDQ channel. So check out their views, and I'm hoping to see both of them Money in the Bank weekend in Chicago for the NoDQ meetup. So moving off the Superstar Shakeup here for a minute, Roman Reigns came out, cut another promo about the greatest Royal Rumble, and then he was interrupted by Samoa Joe. Joe cut another great promo. This segment was a little bit of a copycat of last week. Joe was acting like he was going to come down and have a fight with Reigns, but then he turned around. Typical segment. This was all right. It did feel like filler. And like I said, more of a copycat of last week than anything else. But still, cool to see Joe back in the mix and building up something with Roman Reigns. I'm guessing it's going to be a lengthy storyline for the next several months. And we'll see if it ends up being for the Universal title. Lord Dark Helmet says, Kevin Dunn hit the mute button fast. Yeah, there were an awful lot of boos for Roman Reigns tonight. Roman sucks chants. There was not much in the way of cheering for Roman Reigns on this show in Hartford, Connecticut. All right, so back to the Superstar Shakeup. We had the main event segment, a 10-man tag team match. We had Bobby Roode officially debut on Monday Night Raw, which I guess is a good thing. Maybe he'll turn heel now. It feels like there needs to be some sort of heel turn. There's too many babyface characters right now. You have Bobby Roode, you have Bobby Lashley, you have Finn Balor, who might be going to SmackDown. More on that in a few minutes. Seth Rollins, same thing, could be going to SmackDown. And Braun Strowman could be going to SmackDown. So maybe one person goes to SmackDown Live, maybe one person turns heel. But it feels like we need a heel turn. It feels unbalanced right now. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel are not likely to be doing much as heels. They're going to be lower card. So I think you need a significant heel turn here to balance out things a little bit. So maybe Bobby Roode. I think Bobby Roode needs a heel turn. I think you guys might agree with me on that. The crowd seemed pretty flat for him. They were into Lashley, though. They did like Lashley's power moves, but like I said, Lashley still needs some new entrance music. Quite a few people need some entrance music changes. Lashley needs a change. Ruby Riott needs a change, and a couple of others that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. I'm not really that sold on Authors of Pain's theme song either, and them without Paul Ellering. We'll see how long they last as a tag team before they start to lose their mystique. I do like the fact that they have their names on their vests. At least I can tell who's who at this point. I guess Akam has the tattoo on his shoulder. So I guess I'm starting to figure it out. They're a little bit easier to identify than the Usos. To this day, I still don't know which Uso is which. If you show me a picture of them, I still don't know which one's Jimmy and which one's Jay after all this time. WRX Brian says, Lashley's music is good, man. To each their own. I don't know how it goes. I really don't. The first time I heard Bobby Roode's music, I'm like, this song is amazing. It's catchy. It's going to be something great for him. Same thing with Nakamura. First time you hear it, it makes an impact. Lashley's music, maybe it'll grow on me after 6 months. But so far, to me, it sounds like stock music. And I'm going to let Kayfabe Candy Ass give his opinion because he's a musician and I think his opinion holds some weight. So Kayfabe Candy Ass, yay or nay on Lashley's music? He says generic stock rock. Anybody could have written it, no character. So there you go. I have the backing of a bona fide musician who says it sucks. TJS with a $2 super chat donation. Gable is on Raw. Is this an American Alpha reunion? Is Gable on Raw? Did I miss yet another one? That's kind of annoying. So WWE just posted a bunch of these random names from SmackDown going on Raw. I must have missed Chad Gable. Let me know if I missed Chad Gable. People are telling me Chad Gable is on Raw. As I mentioned earlier, Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley, Mike Kanellis, The Ascension. Where did they announce Gable? People were saying yes. They announced it on Twitter. All right. Well, yeah. Maybe we will see American Alpha reunite with Gable on Raw, unless Jordan goes to SmackDown, which could happen. Jordan and Big Cass are supposed to be back anytime now. So we could see a switcheroo, although that would pretty much ruin the whole Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan storyline. Unless WWE's just deciding to cut their losses with that and there'll be no more mentioning of Jason Jordan on Raw. That's also a possibility. So yeah, main event was good. Overall, I thought Raw was definitely a thumbs up show. I enjoyed it. And Raw did not just take all the best talent from SmackDown. It was more even than previous years. And of course, tomorrow night we'll see some people head over to SmackDown. But I thought SmackDown was going to get it worse. I thought we were going to see like Daniel Bryan or maybe AJ Styles get switched over, or Randy Orton. I know people rag on Randy Orton, but he's still one of the top stars in the company, despite what people think about him. I thought maybe Usos, the hottest act on SmackDown, they were going to head over there, or Rusev, who is not getting the push, but he has the reaction. Charlotte, another one I could have seen possibly go into Raw. But yeah, SmackDown is doing all right here. And I'm sure they'll get a couple of significant names. So predictions for tomorrow night. Who's going to SmackDown Live? I think Jeff Hardy, because Jeff Hardy is the U.S. champion, rather than switch the IC and U.S. titles. I think Rollins is going to stay on Raw, and here's why. Rollins has the Monday Night Rollins t-shirt, and the announcers even mention this, that he has the t-shirt, and if he goes to SmackDown, he's going to have to change his shirt. So yeah, I think Rollins is going to stay on Raw because of the t-shirt alone. I think Jeff Hardy is going to go to SmackDown. He's going to be separate from Matt. Matt's going to keep his tag team with Bray Wyatt, and that's going to be the storyline with them. Jeff Hardy will be Jeff Hardy, and WWE is going to give him the big singles push. So Jeff Hardy's the first one. Asuka, I think, is going to end up on SmackDown Live, and that feud with Charlotte will perhaps continue. They'll have a second match. That'll be a feud. Maybe Asuka will win the women's title from Carmella. And Finn Balor. Finn Balor, I think, will end up on SmackDown Live. Finn Balor, I think, would benefit the most. And I actually did a poll on NoDQ.com, and people agreed. Finn Balor would benefit the most from going to SmackDown Live, and I think he will. Balor versus AJ Styles. Balor versus Daniel Bryan. There's a lot of possibilities for him there. And also the club, Anderson and Gallows. The Balor Club, not the Book Club as Corey Graves referred to them as, but Anderson and Gallows, I think, will end up on SmackDown Live. And maybe like I said earlier, Titus Worldwide, since SmackDown Live will need a few preliminary tag teams. Ma Farah, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Those shirts could be like the Y2AJ t-shirts lasting a week. The thing is, I think the AJ Chris Jericho t-shirts were made on purpose to throw people off the scent and think that there wasn't going to be a split. So I think those shirts were purposely made to do that. I'm trying to think about any other predictions. Maybe the Revival and Big Cass. I think we're going to see Big Cass be drafted to SmackDown Live. And maybe we'll have an NXT person. Maybe Andrade Cien Almas, possibly. And maybe one or two other people. And that'll be it. There won't be a lot of people. Not as many people. But there will be some. Maybe Bayley or Sasha. But I don't think that's a good idea. I think the Bayley and Sasha feud, there's still more to do with that. If one of them goes to SmackDown, then you're just ruining the feud without a real conclusion to it. Just when it's getting really heated, there's still more you can do with that storyline. And yeah, I think he's calling Cassidy now, not Big Cass, so excuse me on that. I would expect to see Big Cass on SmackDown Live, and that's where he's going to make his big return on the SmackDown brand. Fresh start on SmackDown, calling Cassidy. And even though him and Carmella are apparently broken up now, they'll be on the same brand. If that even matters. So that's Raw. That is pretty much everything. If there's anything I missed from Raw, let me know and I will comment on it real quick. Speaking of breakups, I just mentioned the breakup of Cass and Carmella. Of course, a big news story, which is interesting. It's interesting to me how fascinated people are in celebrity relationships. So Brie Bella and not Brie Bella. Well, I already screwed that up. Nikki Bella and John Cena are apparently no more. I don't think it's a storyline. Of course, it is WWE. It is professional wrestling. So there's always a possibility that we're all being worked. But I don't think so. My gut feeling is it's not a work that they're pretending to break up. I think it is a legitimate breakup. Cindy doesn't care. Some people are saying, you know what, leave them alone, let them have their privacy. The thing is, their whole relationship has basically been televised. So it's hard for them to have privacy when every aspect of their relationship has been made public. So yeah, naturally, people want to know, why are they breaking up now? The fact that it's been a public relationship, people want to know what's going on. They want to know the gossip. I mean, I was shocked. I got a lot of traffic yesterday from that story, way more than I thought I was going to get. I mean, I had a really good day of traffic yesterday, and I'm like, wow, people care about this. It's like People Magazine gossip here with celebrities breaking up. But now I know why People Magazine and Us Weekly, US Weekly, whatever it's called, all these gossip magazines, why they're so successful. People are fascinated with celebrity relationships, and John Cena and Nikki Bella is no exception. I mean, my traffic skyrocketed when this news story broke. So as far as what happened, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for either of them. I would assume that they just could not get on the same page like most couples. And I know some people out there are going to reference Paige because I said Paige. And of course, there's Paige in WWE. Ha ha ha. Very funny. I'm sure the jokes are incoming in the chat room. But yeah, they're just not on the same wavelength. And unfortunately, that happens with couples. You know, people drift apart for various reasons. People go in different directions. And yeah, it sucks. It sucks because you want to believe in love. You want to believe that two people can stick together and stay with each other through the good times and the bad. But a lot of times you don't get that happy fairy tale relationship. Willie Bonka just left a $5 super chat donation. I want SmackDown to get sanity, but I don't think it will happen. Well, that is very interesting. I would like to see sanity on SmackDown. I think Eric Young has been in NXT long enough now, so at least Eric Young, give him his opportunity. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be debuting or not. They could be, but I don't know if I would get my hopes up on that one. I don't know if we're going to see anybody else from NXT. Almas might stay on SmackDown too for the time being and maybe do like a mixed tag team match against Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae with Selena Vega. We could see that. Yes, gamer, I was married, so I know from experience that people do drift apart. It happens, unfortunately. All right, let's talk about Rusev and The Undertaker. So, speaking of relationships, it's on and off again. Rusev and Undertaker was announced for the Greatest Royal Rumble, and then it was changed to Chris Jericho versus The Undertaker. And now it's back to Rusev versus The Undertaker in a casket match. Next thing you know, you're going to read on Kayfabe News that it's Undertaker versus Lana in a casket match. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here. The whole thing is just so goofy. It feels like the whole Greatest Royal Rumble is just being thrown together. You know, WWE wants that oil money, so they're just throwing some big matches out there. WWE might just be trolling people. I don't know. I'm caring less and less at this point about the match. Quite frankly, I think I would have preferred to see Undertaker versus Jericho, just because we haven't seen it in a while. It's kind of like a special attraction, legend versus legend match. Rusev, maybe Rusev will beat Undertaker. Yeah, right. But, you know, after WrestleMania, I say anything's possible. Maybe Rusev will be the one to bury The Undertaker. I wouldn't bet money on it, but anything can happen. Maybe Jericho's going to go 65 minutes in the Rumble like NoDQ Virtue says. Certainly could be a possibility. I would not be shocked to see that happen. Gamer Club Worldwide says, seems like WWE is really throwing this together. It's like playing a WWE video game and you're just putting matches together. That is a very valid point. It's just WWE putting together a card without any real thought process behind it. WWF WWE fan says, does the switch back hurt Rusev? I don't think it hurts Rusev. I just think it doesn't add to the match. And Rooster, it's not whiskey. It's diet soda. Sorry to disappoint you, my friend. William Losh says tickets are $2. They don't give a crap. Well, WWE's getting the money from Saudi Arabia. So WWE's making big bucks. Saudi Arabia, they want to get people in the building, obviously, so they're giving out cheap tickets. I've heard some people talk about the idea of actually flying to Saudi Arabia for this because the tickets are so cheap. Really, the only major expense would be flying there. And of course, being in a country I don't know if I would want to be in, but you know, some people are crazy. Apparently, there's a big controversy. You can read it on NoDQ.com if you haven't yet. Some of the tickets, I guess, are only available to families. So if you're a single guy, you're screwed basically if you want a good ticket at the Saudi Arabia show. And that's just the Saudi Arabian policy, how they're doing it. Looking at some of the comments here. Oh, the Watcher says, I'll be safe with the beard. All right, here we go. Adam says, have you been drinking anything at all in your life? I know you're straight edge. I took a sip of an alcoholic beverage as a rib one time. That was it. And I did take a puff of a cigar once. And that's it. As a joke. They were done as ribs. So, you know, I'll do anything for a rib. Just like I'll accept a $100 super chat donation to ban Virtue. But I'm not doing that this time. So the $100 from Chris Mace tonight, it is very much appreciated, but I'm not going to re-ban Virtue. Although I have considered the idea of maybe El Virtuoso coming back. Maybe he could work with Virtue. We could have a debate, a panel with Virtue and El Virtuoso. What do you guys think about that? Leave a comment. Let me know. So yeah, Greatest Royal Rumble. I am looking forward to the show. I am intrigued by it, but at the same time, I feel like this is a very lazy show in terms of the booking and the hype. Man, you guys are getting really vicious in the chat room here. Oh yes, the voice changer video of Vince is too good. Check that out over on NoDQ.com in the features section. Those Snapchat videos with the promos of Vince. There's one of Sid Vicious. Those are hilarious. Andrew, you really should. They're better now. Just saying. Kevin says it's a modified house show. It isn't. I mean, there's never been a house show hyped up like this. I mean, WWE's pretty much hyping it on television with all the commercials like it's a pay-per-view. And like I said last week, it's a much bigger deal than, say, Roadblock, the show that was Triple H versus Dean Ambrose right before WrestleMania. That was a glorified house show. And Beast from the East. This is a step above. We could very well see a title change. Brock Lesnar dropping the title to Roman Reigns. Interstate Kyle says, would you smoke with RVD? No. And I was around him when he was doing his thing. And I did not do it. I did not partake in it. Jeff didn't either. So, Jeff's a good boy. And I have no problem for people that do, though. I really don't. But it's just my own personal choice. I think it should be legal. So, that's my take on it. Let's not get too political here. I have gotten a contact buzz, though, Virtue, quite a few times being around RVD and Jerry Lynn and Kid Cash. So, yeah, if you're around wrestlers, yeah, you're going to get the contact high. And it's happened to me quite a few times. Yeah, one time I was like curled up in a ball. Like I was having a tough time dealing with it. Jason just left the $5 super chat donation. So much going on. WrestleMania, then Super Shakeup, then Greatest Royal Rumble, then Backlash, all within a month. Overkill. Yeah, there is a lot of content right now. And yesterday I was able to take a little bit of a break, although the whole John Cena Nikki Bella story broke, so that kept me a little busy on a day I was trying to just enjoy some recreational activity. And then, of course, we got Money in the Bank coming up too with NXT TakeOver. Not complaining about more NXT, but yeah, a lot of stuff happening in a very short period of time, which is a double-edged sword. It's good because it's good for business. I'm always up for good business, but at the same time, you know, it's a lot of work. But I'm not afraid of a lot of work. I'm doing this, and I'm happy to do it. I will be back tomorrow night for another edition of NoDQ Live to talk about the rest of the Superstars Shakeup. I would like to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I appreciate your viewership. Thank you all for the Super Chat donations. Got to give Chris Mace one more plug, though, for the $100 donation. You are awesome, my friend. Thank you so much for that. And you guys are great. Please spread the word. You want to help out? Tell a friend. Go on Facebook or Twitter or Reddit. I know some of you go on Reddit. You post on there. Tell them NoDQ's where it's at. They got to check out NoDQ Live. Let them know about this video. And keep spreading the word. That's all I got to say. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'm sure I'll be here. I'll have to be here, otherwise there's no show. Kayfabe Candy S, I think, will be here. Offman Rules just left the $5 Super Chat donation. 5 more minutes. All right. So 5 more minutes here. We still have 330 live viewers. So, yeah, what the hell? 5 more minutes. Give me a topic, because I'm all out of ideas right now for what to talk about. I'm not sure what I haven't talked about at this point in terms of news stories and Monday Night Raw. So throw something at me to talk about, and I will discuss it for the next 5 minutes or so. Maybe longer. We'll see. Okay. Do you think the Greatest Royal Rumble will hurt Backlash? No, because it's the network era. If this was the $50 pay-per-view era, then yeah, it would. But now it doesn't matter because everyone's going to be watching both shows regardless. Big Hoss. Reigns can call Samoa Joe a fat ass, but if Alexa does it, it's bullying. Very good point there. A lot of people pointed that out. Roman Reigns took a page out of Scott Steiner's book, calling him a fat ass. But yeah, since Roman Reigns is the hero, nobody blinks an eye. But if it was a heel character, it would be bullying. Very good point there. I guess Roman Reigns was trying to be cool like The Rock when The Rock would make fun of Rikishi for being a thong-wearing fatty. I don't know. Rooster, why are you straight edge? Because I care about my body. No alcohol, no cigarettes, no alcohol. I feel I want to control my brain at all times, and that's a healthy lifestyle, so that's what I do. Follow NoDQ Virtue, because he's a good guy, even though he's an epic troll. And we have a first-time live viewer here, so thank you for tuning in. How's my diet? It's just a diet. I don't overeat, but I don't eat necessarily healthy. I just eat chicken and Caesar salads and a few other things here and there, and that's about it. I'm not like a vegan or anything. I'm not that. I could not go without meat, chicken especially. Will Corey Graves get punished? I don't think so. He might get yelled at, but I think that's it. I don't think he'll be punished over saying the Bullet Club by mistake. Chas Games is here. Yo, I'm finally here. I hope didn't much of the live broadcast. I'm not sure what he meant by that. Anthony, CM Punk's next UFC fight. I guess you're asking my opinion on that. I know nothing about Michael Jackson. I know he has the same name as a pop star who is no longer with us. That's all I know about him. I do know he lost his fight against Mickey Gall, which was the qualifying match. I think he's in this fight because he's the only guy that is contracted to UFC that CM Punk would have a chance of beating. I think that's why this fight is happening. So CM Punk at least has a chance. Maybe it's Lord Christmas chance of winning the fight, but There's always a chance, right? Maybe CM Punk will win. I don't know. I don't know how much he has improved since his first fight. He's against a fighter who doesn't have a track record. Really hard to say. I think it could go either way. He might get his ass kicked. He might kick the guy's ass. Don't know. Don't know. I do care a little bit, but I really don't have a good prediction for you on that. Steven says that this fight will be an amazing thriller. I see what you did there. Darren Young. Oh, why did I say Darren Young? Darren Grog says, will the Young Bucks get a chance in WWE? I don't think that it's a matter of them getting a chance. I think it's a matter of them wanting to go to WWE. I think if they go to WWE, they'll have the chance. I definitely think they will have the chance if they want the chance. That's the question. Do they want to go into WWE? And I think that they're happy doing what they're doing right now and waiting for the right opportunity if there is one at some point down the line. But I do think they will end up in WWE. Same thing with Kenny Omega. One day, Omega and the Young Bucks will be in WWE. I will make that prediction. I think it's inevitable. Even Sting ended up in WWE. So it would take like a career-ending injury, I think, for neither of those acts to end up in WWE. Offman Rules, $2 Super Chat donation. Thoughts on the Andre documentary? And Chris Ramirez sent a $3 Super Chat donation. Braun is serious money. What a swerve for people who thought that I was ending 10 minutes ago. Offman Rules, I did talk about this on NoDQ video last week, but I did enjoy it. I thought the Andre documentary was well done. Try not to repeat what I already said. I think maybe they could have gone into more detail about his career in Japan. It felt like most of the documentary was focused around Andre's later years, and in particular, the match with Hogan. And I don't really know if I buy the story that Hogan didn't know what the finish was going to be with the body slam. I find that hard to believe. 90,000 people there, WrestleMania, and Hogan's not clued in. I think that that's more myth and fantasy than anything else. I really don't buy it. But it makes for a good story. And they even did acknowledge that a lot of these Andre stories, it's become, mythological in a way. And just they've grown a life of their own. The Watcher, Hogan is a hell of a salesman. When Hogan says something, you have to take it with a grain of salt. That's Hulk Hogan for you. Big Hoss, I did talk about who I think is going to SmackDown. So you'll have to watch this on demand and check out what I talked about. I think it was about 20 to 25 minutes into the video, but I'm not sure on that. The stuff about Andre and the beers might be true because he's a huge man, and a man of that size, he's going to have a high tolerance for alcohol. All right, guys, so I will go ahead and wrap up this edition of NoDQ Live. Thank you all for watching. I will be back tomorrow night for more NoDQ Live. Again, tell a friend, SmackDown Live. If you missed it, go back and watch this video. I gave my predictions about tomorrow night, who I think is going to end up on SmackDown Live. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. I'm sure we'll have some updates regarding the Superstar Shakeup, who might be appearing. Darren, who did I miss a Super Chat from? I don't think I missed one. If I did, I apologize. I mentioned Chris Ramirez and Offman Rules. If I missed one, I deeply apologize. But anyways, that'll do it for this video. I will go ahead and sign off now. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for more.